Good evening. Welcome back to Gap Perspective with Haley and Janet. Tonight I am doing the introduction. I am Janet, if no one knows. And we have our special guest, who is my partner here, my beautiful niece, Haley. We have exciting news that Haley has made a major accomplishment, and we're going to talk about that tonight. My job tonight is interviewing Haley to see how she came along this journey. Hi, Haley.
Hi, Janet. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I'm going to interview you this evening, Haley, and I have some questions so I can explain to the audience why I am interviewing you. Haley is an author, a children's book author. This is her second book, and she will explain to you the book and her journey on how she wrote the book. I will ask her questions. She will respond. And then if you have any questions, you can always put in the comments and we will be happy to get back to you at a further date. Obviously, this is not live, so you can't do it now. But I think that Haley is an inspiration to all young people, and it would be very nice if they followed in her footsteps. She is an inspiration and she has been through many challenges. So, Haley, first tell us the name of your books. This is her second book, I want you to know. Haley, tell us the name of your books.
So, my first book I published in 2022 titled Apollo, the Schnoodle Poodle to the Rescue, which was a book that I wrote for young readers who struggled with mental health, such as anxiety. My second book, it's a newly released, titled Apollo's Adventure into the Mystical Garden, which is more towards the themes of self-confidence, friendship, self-doubt, bravery, things like that for young readers.
Very nice, very good. And I think it's very helpful to young readers. We have to get the book out there more. At the end of this segment, Haley can tell you where you can get the book if you're interested. Okay. Haley, can you share a moment from your personal life that inspired a scene or character in the book?
So, with my whole writing journey as a whole, with both books, I dedicated it to Apollo, which is my dog. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, at a young age, I actually had like a fear of dogs and overcame that as well. So, with my first book, I also brought in that aspect of when you have anxiety and things like that, Apollo's there as like a support for you. And I think throughout my personal experience, it was through my own childhood, and I just started writing these books so kids could have an outlet to go to and relate to show that they aren't alone and that they can overcome these challenges. I would have to say it came from elementary school times where I felt like I didn't have the resources back then, and I'm still trying to break the stigma around like children's mental health and just trying to bring a positive outlet into those things.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Um, some of my questions that I had next, you really just answered, but I'm going to ask you them anyway.
Okay.
Um, okay. Um, what was the most unexpected challenge you encountered while writing the book?
I did suffer from writer's block for a little bit. Like I wrote a few drafts. It wasn't like a one take, oh yes, like I finally got the book together. I kept rereading it. I would even send you things like to proofread for
Mhm.
me. Oh, does this look right? Is it the correct
Yes, I remember.
punctuation? like things like that. It wasn't just one night I was typing and it was already like put together. Like the first night that I thought of the idea, I put together like at least the title, and then I started writing, deleting because then I was like, no, this flow isn't it. So I would definitely tell like self-published authors out there who want to publish their children's books that to not get discouraged if they go through these challenges, and my best advice to them is just to keep going, and eventually you'll get that final draft and feel confident enough to be like, okay, I got the story, now what's the next step?
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Yes, and I do remember all that you went through. Okay. Um, I think we might have discussed this. Um, how did you choose the title for your book, and what significance does it hold for you?
For my first one, or just both in general?
Whichever one you could talk about both if you want to.
So for my first book, it was towards a younger audience. So I was like, maybe it has to be something a little like fun, kind of something that rhymes. So Apollo the Schnoodle Poodle to the rescue, like just something cute for them to say. With Apollo's adventure into the mystical garden, that came to me like right away. And but the title wasn't first. It was actually my writing. And as I was writing, I'm like, okay, he's going along this journey into the mystical garden. Should it be Apollo's journey into the mystical garden? Should it be? So I was going through different titles, and then Apollo's adventure into the mystical garden, that was the one that I felt was able to stick. And when I was getting others like feedback, like yours, my mom's, stuff like that, then I knew, okay, that one sounds good. I'll go with that.
Okay. Are there any characters in the book that you relate to on a personal level? Well, first
I
tell us your characters in the book. Your first book, I know the characters, but if you could tell the viewers, the listeners, your characters and how you
so
put them in the book.
okay, so my first book is Apollo, which is my dog. Then I'm referred to as Aunt Haley in the book because it's my niece and nephew, Grayson and Emma, in that book.
Who had a tragedy, correct?
Yes. And then with my second book, there is Apollo, then I have Luna the owl, then Kona the fox, Sapphire the turtle, and Flutter the butterfly. Still creating those creative characters. I feel like I still lean more towards, I think, Luna in that book, my second one, because she's the one that kind of guides like Apollo and tries to make him feel better and to stay positive, which I feel I do, uplift others like around me and try to keep others motivated and feel good about themselves as well. Then there also is a part of me that I could relate to the character of Apollo because he overcame self-doubt in the second book, which is also something that I have overcame myself as well. So I feel like both of those characters I would relate to the most.
Okay. And were there any themes or messages you consciously set out to explore in this book?
To have young readers believe in themselves more, that if you put yourself out there, even when you're fearful or when you're anxious or you have doubts, that if you just overcome the challenge and just do it, it's always a better outcome. And it opens so many. unexpected doors for you.
That's so true. That's so true because, and you do open yourself up to criticism, and I think that's what some people are afraid of. Um, Not that you were being criticized by anybody, but when you do put yourself out there, even the people on TikTok, on Instagram, on any platform, or books, you're always going to have the people that go, she's not that good, blah, blah, blah. So you have to have a thicker skin to do that. And I applaud you for that. Um, so let me ask you this. How did you approach the writing of the book? How did you have to do any research for the book? Did you uncover anything that was fascinating in your search doing this book? I don't know if you really had to search a lot, or is it just your mind that wrote the book?
So it is with my own mind, but of course, I feel like with any writer, you have to get some type of inspiration, even a visual like inspiration. So like I'll go on to like Pinterest and I could search like whimsical like garden vibes, mystical garden vibes, which was helping me even with the illustrations. What did I want it to look like? Um, did I want it very colorful? Did I want it dark tones like watercolors, things like that?
Mhm.
Even with TikTok, when you search um there's also like a hashtag or accounts with titled book talk. It's where I would go and I would look at other children's books to just see like marketing strategies, their writing process, their editor process, illustration process, just to see like my next steps. But with writing, it was all like my own words. But once I was visually looking at like presentations, then I'm like, okay, it started getting my brain going, and then
Yes.
just started typing, and I wouldn't stop. I believe with A Paul's Adventure into the Mystical Garden, I went through about 3 or 4 drafts of it, and then by like my fourth draft, I was like, okay, I think this sounds really good, and that's when I was confident with it.
Okay. Um, I know that you had a book signing. I was there for your first book, and it was very successful. Um, so I'm going to ask you this question because I think that's the only way you might have had this interaction. If not, then just, you didn't have any. But can you describe a memorable interaction you've had with a reader about this book? It could be at the book signing, or somebody sent you an email, or you maybe never had any yet. I don't know.
With the local book signing that I had, yes, it was very successful. I even met with other like local authors and building that connection, that sense of community, which I really enjoyed as well. What always makes me happy is when you're meeting these authors and they're giving you like great feedback, like you wrote this really well, like the layout of this book is like amazing. Thing a lot of those comments I was getting from the book signing, and that just made me feel very good about like my writing, and I'm like, okay, like I can do this because still with myself I'll be like, does it look good? Does it look still second guessing with some things? But then after receiving like those comments from supporters and things like that, that's what uplifts me. And but that book signing helped me tremendously with my
Hmm.
first
It
book.
was a great day. It was a great day for you. What would you say is the most rewarding moment you experienced during the writing process?
I would say just being able to complete it because
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
I would always go through phases of writer's block and always thinking, is it good enough? Could I change this? Could I make this better? So just accomplishing that whole like writer part, I think is like the best accomplishment. Like, yes, I did it, like I finished. Then your next step would be you go through an editor or an illustrator, because if you have a picture book, like it's different from a novel. Um, but I think just writing it is the most successful feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Are there any specific cultural influences that shaped the world or characters in your book? I shouldn't even say the world or the characters in your book. Cultural influences for children because you're writing a children's book. So the outside world, what would you say about that for children reading your book?
Um, just like the character developments that I made, if any of them were like cultural.
Okay. Like the the storytelling. Did you were you were you influenced by any specific cultural, it's the
Um,
things around you, things around the children, which I think you already said. You said the anxiety and the fear for children.
oh yes, like just things within our society and stuff
Right.
like
It
that.
could be anybody. It really isn't cultural differences. It's universal, the way
Yeah,
people feel. So I think your books relate, there are no really cultural differences. I think it's a universal feeling.
yeah,
Doesn't matter, whether the child, what ethnic background they have. Feelings are feelings.
exactly, yes. And
And
that's what I try to come across as well. Like, um, just I mostly always will dedicate and be an advocate for the mental health, the anxiety that children may go through, just having like a furry friend there for you, which I try to make Apollo as that figure for them. And I would just like to just boost children's self-confidence, self-esteem, that any challenge they could always overcome no matter what anyone says to them or however someone judges them, that you'll always come out on the other side. And that's kind of what I bring into these books, going back to my own childhood and having those struggle moments and not having like these resources like how they're getting developed now. And even for me being a children's book author and putting those themes into these books, back then when I was 9 starting to struggle with anxiety, there was nothing like this for me. Like
no, there was not.
there was no books that I could read where it was like a comforting read. And I'm like, wow, I always had that sense of I feel so alone, like it's always me. Then at a young age like that, you would always think to yourself, oh, like, what is wrong with me? Like, how can I fix this? Like, you go through kind of like those deep feelings because you're so young, dealing with emotions that I feel like are so heavy and overwhelming for a child, where you just don't know where to turn to, and it's like a fight or flight mode that
Right.
kind of happens at a young age. And even going like past my books, even to do more than that, like being a advocate, like a speaker, a voice for children. So it just breaks that whole like mental health stigma as a whole. Because even with self-confidence and self-esteem and things like that, I believe it still has things to do with your mental health, because you are your worst critic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you think that I remember how you were your fear of dogs because you used to come to my house. You would Oh my God, you're a little girl. You'd be shaking. You'd be crying. You're like, I'm not gonna go in there. I'm not going in there. I'd be like, Haley, it's okay. It's okay. No, you were really terrified, and you really didn't have any encounter with dogs to like that. You never got bit by a dog, or was the
No,
reason that you were that way?
I just always felt like just anxious all the time. And
Yeah.
it was exactly like you said, like never
Mhm.
had an encounter where I was bit, where I was chased, or anything like that. It's just the way they would like look or something, you would think like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And
you're.
then now I'm like, what the heck? Like getting my own dog, I feel like obviously helped me like overcome that. And that's what I'm saying as well. Like that was basically a phobia and that was such a fear.
Oh, it
And that's
was.
what I'm trying to show to like young readers or, anyone in general that it could be like your worst fear of your life and you
Right.
overcome it. I overcame it. Like,
Yes, you did.
so
Yes, you did. I used to say to you, just pet him. Just pet him. He's not going to bite. You'd be like, no. But then you did, I think, a few times. Do you think that
yes,
if your mother had gotten you a puppy at that time, like as an emotional support dog, it might have helped you?
yes. Now thinking back on it, I think it would
Yeah,
have. Like,
me
then
too.
I would have been like, oh, because then you end up having a bond with that dog. Then you're like, you love, because I like love Apollo, like literally adore him. And if I had that at a younger age, I think I would have been like fine and wouldn't have been such scared.
Well, that's why they bring emotional support animals. They bring them to old, I don't want to say old age homes. Uh, homes where the elderly are, hospitals where people are sick, and things like that. Psychiatric places so that people have a bond with the dog. It makes them feel
Yeah,
good. Then you got
because
people that don't even like dogs. I don't know if that would be a good idea for them, but that's a
yeah,
personal choice.
right.
Um, Now, what do you, what was the most challenging part of the book to write? And how did you overcome that? I know you had writer's block a few times. How did you overcome it? Did you walk away for a week? How did you overcome all that?
Yes, like I wouldn't keep staring at the computer because I'm like, this isn't helping me. Like, this is making this whole process worse. So I would go out, like go on walks, like clear your mind because then that's when, your mind starts going, your creativity comes back. My most challenging part for writing the book was the ending because I'm like almost there and then I'm like,
Absolutely.
now how do you end it? How do you end it? So that was my challenge was the ending of my book. And then
Yeah.
finally started to reread it. Everything was flowing, flowing, and then I'm like, okay, let's try this. And I think I had like three different endings. My third one was the best. That's the one I kept, but the ending was the most challenging for me to write.
But it was a relief, I'm sure, because I'm at that point. Um, if you could offer one piece of advice to aspiring writers, what would it be?
I would say take it day by day. It's not a race. And to also just keep going, to never give up on that dream, that aspiration that you have, because you never know where it could lead you to. Especially also the authors that are going through like a self-publishing route that weren't able to go through like traditional publishing or a publishing house even if you're in that self-publishing phase, that's still an accomplishment too, because you did it on your own. You just had your
Yes.
editor and you were able
Well,
to,
that's what you did, right?
yes,
Yeah. So how did you approach revisions and editing? And how has your manuscript evolved throughout the process?
So I use a platform called Fiverr, which it's freelancers
Yes,
that
I use that too
chat for different things. Yes, like you could probably go on there basically for anything. Like there's book marketing, ebook marketing, social media, marketing where they'll develop templates and posts for you to post if you're not really like that creative and need help with like posts on Instagram, Facebook. You can hire someone on this site where you'll just show them like inspiration, like authors that you look up to and what you would want like your post to look like, your book illustrations, like your cover, you would show them and they would develop like these posts for you as well. With Fiverr, I have used illustration and editors on. So for editors, I always look at um top rated or if it's like level 3 or level 4, something like that on there, where I know that they're good editors,
Yes.
and I'll click on their portfolio to see like the work that they have done by how many customers. I look at reviews. A lot of them, if it's like 4 or 5 stars, I'm like, okay. So then what you do is like you'll message that editor like, hey, I just finished like the manuscript of my second children's book. I would like you to edit it with me if there's any spelling errors, punctuation, um things that I should add, should take out. Uh that's also like a fun process for me too. The people that I have worked with on Fiverr, they've been excellent.
Yes, I've used them for resumes, for my son. I've used them for labels for my creams.
Yes, they
I've
do
used
stuff like
Fiverr.
that too. Yep.
Yes, it's a very good site and it's not as expensive as if you would
That's what I was
use a
just going to
company.
say.
hmm Yeah, it's a very good site if anybody, it's Fiverr, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the site and it's wonderful to do it various. You could do many things on there. It's freelancing, like Haley said, and it's different categories and it's very
Our
good.
podcast stuff was done on there too.
Yes. What about the new one? Was that done on there too? Wait, I thought you did that.
That one I did on Canva.
Yeah, I thought you did that. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Um, okay. What do you hope readers will take away from your book?
I hope that they take away the positive messages. I hope that they're able to understand where I was coming from with the writing, with the illustrations, and I hope that they could develop a more positive, a better positive mind, sorry,
It's
with
okay.
reading the book. And I'm hoping it's a read that they could also go back to and will reread because I would like it to become an outlet for the young readers to always want to go to or look back on as well.
Okay. Do you read any book reviews?
So recently I had just downloaded Goodreads so I could go on there and have like my own profile as well. And then on their homepage, I'll scroll through like different posts with book reviews, but I stick with that genre. So I'll only look at the children's books
Children's, right.
and I'll see like the reviews on this book. Why was it so low? Oh, why was it so high? So I'm seeing like most of it was about like the picturing of the book, the illustrations that brought a lot of readers to rate it that high.
Right.
There were some where they just loved the story. So I do look at that at times.
Okay. Um, do you have any favorite authors that give you inspiration? Any children's book authors, or you just using your own
I
mind?
think I just started using my own mind really. When I was younger, I read a lot of like children's books, but I don't think any of them necessarily gave me like that inspiration. I think it was basically just my own creativity, imagination that just came to life through my writing and my books.
Right. Was there a scene in your book that you found difficult to write? Any of it? Or it just flowed? Did it have a natural flow?
For the illustrations, the scene would have to be the last few scenes going towards the ending
Now,
because
this is the
since
second book you're talking about.
this is the second one, so this is Apollo's adventure into the mystical garden because this one was a harder process than the last one because it had a lot more detail. Like I wanted a lot more detail and characters in the words, just everything in general with the illustrations. So when it was coming to the ending of the book, those last few illustrations, I had to keep like playing around with to make sure it flowed with the rest of the storyline that was already coming together.
Right,
And there was a lot of like edits when it came to the characters as well, like with their colors and uh like with Luna the owl, she was at first like this dark purple, and I'm like, no, like that's like too, and I like put it lighter and with her little like crescent moon. So I also wanted more detail in the characters' development as well. So my second book, A Paul's Adventure into the Mystical Garden, was a lot more just paying attention to detail throughout the illustrations.
right. Well, Haley, I think you've done a great job on writing your books. I'm proud of you, and I hope that parents buy your book for their children, and maybe their children don't want to say anything about how they feel. And your book might inspire them to open up, to make people understand how they feel and not be afraid to say that. Don't be afraid. Um, so I'm going to close soon. At the, how did you know you were coming to the end of the book? Did you know ahead of time, or did you just keep going and said, that's it, I know this is the end? The second book.
So when I kept going, then that's when I started feeling that confidence. Okay, this is the end. Went through the whole book formatting of the illustrations, getting it done on Amazon
Yeah,
KDP and Barnes and Noble. And then I just had to wait for like my author copies to come in because that's your like your proof, your author proof copies come in before you launch it, your book release to be put on sale. Then once I seen that, the book, I do this with my first one too. When it's in my hands, I get so emotional. And I'm
oh,
like,
I know, it's a great,
wow,
I can't
like
wait.
you did it. And it's like right in front of
Yes,
me. And I always just like tear up a bit. And then that's when I know, okay, you overcame your writer's block, like you did it. And now it's out there. And I'm just very proud of the work.
I'm proud of you too. So with your first book, have you been successful in sales? I'm just going to ask you that.
Yes, so what I was successful on was Amazon KDP, not so much with Barnes and Noble because with Barnes and Noble I only use their press, which is like the printing of the book. But with Barnes and Noble, they want you to price your book at a minimum, which the minimum price, I feel like it is too much, and that's something that I don't really
Too much or not
in
enough?
I think it's too much, like their minimum for like the pricing of it. With
Mhm.
Amazon, I like it a lot more because they also do different like book promotions, even your Kindle version. So the Kindle version that I have now with Apollo's Adventure into the Mystical Garden, what I did, it was like a sale on Kindle. So now my first book, Apollo the Shoodle Poodle to the Rescue, is free on Kindle Unlimited up to June 15th when you purchase Apollo's Adventure into the Mystical Garden Kindle version. So I did that as kind of like a book promotion
Oh, that was a
for
good
the
idea.
readers.
Okay, that was a good idea. So, in closing, Haley, please let the viewers know where they can purchase your book.
So you could purchase my book on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Both titles are Apollo the Shittle Poodle to the Rescue and Apollo's Adventure into the Mystical Garden. And I just want to say also to you, thank you for always supporting me in all of my writing process. You were also in my dedication page
Yes,
in my
yes,
first
I
book.
was. Thank you very much.
And I just appreciate you so much for always pushing me throughout this journey. And I just want to thank my boyfriend Chris and my family for also pushing me for this second book as well, and just being there for my support system, and also to all of everyone that has purchased a copy. As of right now, I want to thank you all for your support, and it means the world to me, so thank you.
Oh, that was very nice, Haley. Thank you. It's a pleasure always working with you, Haley, that I could make a difference in your life. It makes me warm in my heart. I want you to be successful. I used to drag you
Thank
all
you.
over the place, right? Come on, you could do it.
Yes.
She'd be like, I don't want to go now. I can't. Yeah, you can. Come on. I didn't give her time to think, right? During,
No.
like when you were in that commercial. I was like, nope, you
Yeah.
gotta go.
Just
She's like,
pushed me, and then here I
my
am.
hair. I don't have no
Yeah.
makeup. I go, yeah, I got lipstick in my
And the
pocketbook with a cover
outfit I
stick.
was wearing. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And you were on
She'll just do it
television
to you
40
right on the
times a
spot.
day. Huh?
Yeah. I said, you'll just do it right on the spot because that's when you'll know I'll do it. Like, just get out, just get. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
I don't give you time to think,
Yeah.
but I'm so proud of you and your accomplishments, and I hope you keep going. I have one more question before we end this. If you were asked to make this a movie or a cartoon, even, who would your main character be?
Apollo.
Yeah, I figured Apollo. Apollo's so cute. Yes. Yeah, Apollo. You better
Yes.
start
Oh,
getting
I would
insurance
love
on
if that
Apollo.
happens, I would love that. Like a little TV
Disney.
series or even a movie. Oh, that would be so
Well, you
cute.
know what would be good? After this book, can you do a continuation? It would be like a trilogy or something, you know? Maybe it's something to think about,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. There will be more books to come, anyone who's listening, because I do have more ideas, but I just like to have gaps between the books. Like,
Yeah, you
since
should.
this one had just came out, I'm not going to release one in another few months or
hmm
possibly next year, right? Because I already have a new idea. So
Good,
hopefully
good,
maybe
good,
in a
good.
year or so. But
hmm
yes, I'm still
Good,
writing and continuing with this as
good,
well.
good, good, good. That's good stuff. Proud of you. And thank you for this evening. You were a guest on your own show. It's always a pleasure. And I hope you have a good evening and that you continue to write and write and write. And what do you have to say? Anything?
I just want to thank our Gap Perspective listeners for listening to this episode and supporting us. We have been doing this podcast for over a year, and we just want to thank all of our listeners for listening to our episodes. Uh, every time we release them, it means a lot to us. You're the ones that keep us going, and we just love doing this with each other.
We
So,
do.
thank you.
We really do. And we hope that you share our podcast with your friends and families and like and follow us. And we're going to make this like Authors Month. And the next
Yes.
author we're going to have is another local author from Bayonne. His name is Vinny Consiglia, and he's on his second book, I believe. And I believe,
Awesome.
right, Haley, he's going to be on the next podcast in a week or
Yes.
so. So he will be our next guest.
Yes, on our next episode. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So thank you again, everyone. And thank you, Haley, for your inspiration for the young people. I hope they read your
Thank
book.
you.
Okay. Have a good evening, all. Thanks for listening.
Take care.
You too.